Have you ever thought to yourself, I am a strong and capable creature and I can make anything out of trash? Well, then you found the correct video. Today we are whimsy maxing, we are mogging the craft world. I don't know actually any of the other terminology because I've been fortunate enough never to have that kind of thing come up on my actual algorithm. Everything I've learned has been against my will. Today we are going to be making whimsical decor for my twin girls' bedroom out of garbage, recycling, compost, not really compost, binned items. I don't know. There's no other words for trash that I can think of at the moment, but that's what we are going to do. We have two projects on the docket for today. Project number one, a garland of bugs and creatures and flowers and other wiggly, wormy, outdoorsy type of things to go on my daughter's wall. They've got one wall that's a little bit plain, and I just can't be having that. I need them to look up from their cribs and see colorful, vibrant, beautiful things that aren't overpriced. Because one thing about having kids that I feel like no one tells you, it's not that they're expensive. Everyone tells you that. But the prices on like random stuff that you don't need, but that you kind of feel bad for not having. So, decor for the girls' room, garland, project number one. Project number two, they have a sconce on that same wall that has been living its best 80s or 90s life since long before I bought this house, probably since before I've been alive. And it's ugly, and we don't really use it very much anyway, but I want to create a lampshade sconce cover situation. My idea is to create that out of tissue paper from their baby shower. Well, we didn't have a baby shower for a couple reasons. It was a very complicated pregnancy. But tissue paper from gifts that we received for them. So it's a little bit sentimental. And then I'll figure out the way to make it stand up and actually hold itself on the sconce later when I'm doing it. I've got some inspiration for the garlands that I'll put somewhere around here. The sconce I actually don't really have a lot of inspiration for. I've seen flower lampshades before, so that probably is what has been in my mind. But I actually looked up like lampshade for sconce or flower sconce, and I just didn't see very much. So this one's coming straight off the dome. I think we're going to tackle the garland first, so let's get started. First things first, I made paper templates of butterflies, beetles, and ladybugs, or as my son calls them, cuddle bugs. I freehand drew these, picked the half of them that I thought I liked the best, and then mirrored that so that they were somewhat symmetrical, although some of their wonkiness is part of the charm. I traced those out with Sharpie onto cardboard, and then I cut those shapes out, and I made 4 of each for 12 total little buggies. In a very baby YouTuber move, I actually didn't record any footage of the wall before I beautified it with the bugs. So let's skip ahead to when you see me measuring out the strings after they had all been completed. But we can just pretend that this is in chronological order. Also, if you see any hair dye or outfit continuity issues, no you didn't. You saw a little bit of the sconce in the last shot. However, this is her in her overpainted 80s to 90s glory. She is a little bit homely right now, but once we shake out her hair and take off her nerdy glasses, we'll discover what a beauty she is, actually, with the correct lampshade made of trash. I reinforced the bendy or cracky parts of the bugs with some masking tape, and then I went ahead and gave them all a base coat of white. In a perfect world, I would have had a much more opaque white paint. However, did I mention this is a challenge to make art out of trash? The paint isn't exactly trash, but it is something I already had on hand, so it was free. Once the white coat was dry, I flipped him over and gave him a coat of lime green for no reason at all, because you will not be able to see this, purely for the love of the game. Good evening. I know that I look stupendous tonight. Hair dye is dyeing. Chip clips are clipping. Couldn't find any of my actual hair clips because I'm a disorganized beast. But nevertheless, we persist. It's like 10:30 at night. Am I going to allow something as silly as hair dye to ruin my night of coloring bugs onto trash? Absolutely not. I'm going to sit on the floor like a little goblin and get to painting. I am getting ready to go to my second job, my weekend job, which is a shame because it's gorgeous out today and this is all I want to do. But I have like 15 free minutes, which I feel like sounds like not a lot, but when you have 3 little kids, you got to take it and do everything you can with it. So let's color some bugs. The 15 minutes of it all is kind of why I wanted to start this channel. Not just that. I mean, the primary reason is to share my work, give me a deadline to be creative by, that kind of thing. Hopefully meet some other people who are crafty and fun. But one of the reasons was I watch all the crafty girls, like probably the same ones y'all do. And I love them and they are wonderful. And they make these huge, crazy projects. And I just found myself feeling really envious of that. And thinking, wow, like that amount of free time must be amazing. And like, it must be amazing. I used to have that amount of free time, but tragically I didn't become really in touch with my creativity until I became a mom. Something really like woke up in me and I just wanted to, I guess I made a person, so then I had to make everything else. I found myself feeling really jealous and really also just feeling like, while I love watching them, I still do. I am obsessed. I wanted to show something that can fit into pockets of life. Like, I have a part-time job. I have a full-time job. My husband has a part-time job and stays home with the kids. And none of our kids are in school or in daycare or anything. I work from home for my primary job, and I do go out for my second. So I know everybody's life situation is different, but I wanted to show things that were kind of approachable and yeah, realistic for my life. I still love watching people do these like crazy big projects, and I hope I can do that someday. I have some really big project ideas that I'd love to tackle, but I think it would take me, you know, not a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Like, it would take me so much longer. And I think that's okay. Like, being online gives you this false sense of reality. And so right now I'm trying to keep my projects manageable and useful for my actual life. Not that like a garland of trash bugs is useful in the traditional sense, but like, I will hang this up in my house. I will enjoy it. I hope my kids will enjoy it. My son is already very into it. He wants, especially the ladybugs, he wants those for himself. So I may have a little bit more work cut out for me in that regard. I was going to make him one anyway with like spaceships and planets because he's really into space. But if the man wants ladybugs he shall get. So been out here for maybe 10-15 minutes, and that is what has been accomplished. I'll take it. decision to add some flowers because who doesn't love a little trash flower? I found a beautiful little rainbow light corner and just started coloring my heart away. Hello, the bug garland is complete. I cannot even express to you how excited I am about this. It is so cute. It is adorable. All the bugs are done. Everything's painted and ready to go. I just need to put it on the string for the garland and hang it up in the girls' room. I don't know. I get a little emotional about it. Like, this was garbage. This was recycling that I was going to send off and nothing was going to happen with it. And now it's like beautiful handcrafted art for my kids' room that hopefully they'll be able to look at for years to come and think about how much I love them and that I was happy to be making something for them. So a little sentimental about it, but it is just really exciting. But because the garland is done, that means we're on to trash project number 2. And what is trash project number 2? I am going to be making a sconce cover for kind of an ugly sconce in their room. We never really use it, so it is more of a decorative piece, but I do want it to be functional as well. I don't have the budget to get a new sconce. I don't have the desire to get a new sconce. So this is definitely going to be a lampshade situation, but I still want it to be functional and look pretty. So my plan is I have created these little templates. I'm going to use 3 of them and go for a tulip look, like 1, 2, 3 around the sconce. So it'll be a little bit, I don't know why I'm like covering my face with this, but it should be curved around so that both sides of the shade touch the wall and there'll be one central petal in the front. My plan for materials for this project is old cereal boxes. These are my Honey Nut Cheerios. That I'm going to use to create a frame. And then over top of it, I'm going to use old tissue paper that I got for gifts. I got a lot of pink and white tissue paper stuffed on top of gift boxes for when I had my girls. So I will be using that. So it's actually mementos from when we were expecting them, which is very exciting. The tissue paper is going to be the petal itself, and the cardboard is going to be reinforcements around all of the perimeter, so that I have something A, to wrap the tissue paper around and tape to the back or glue to the back, and B, so that it has the ability to stand up straight. If the cardboard alone is not enough reinforcement, I do have some spare like 14 gauge wire downstairs, which isn't actually trash, so I don't want to use it, but I will if I have to, and I can just hot glue it to the back of the cardboard. I think this will work. I hope this will work. If this does not work, whatever, nothing's lost. It's trash. So let's get to it. I've got the pink tissue paper. As you can see, it's very scrunchy bunchy right now. I think it'll create some cool texture, and also the wrinkles are probably impossible to get out by this point. So we are just going to embrace the wrinkle, do it even more so, and just go off. Now, as you can see, some of these have little holes in them. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to work around it, unless all of them have holes in them, and then we're going to have to go to the basement and see what other trash we can dig up. Now I'm going to draw around my teardrop shape, my petal shape, with about a 1/2 inch of seam allowance or tissue paper trash allowance. I don't know what you would call it at this stage. We're going to be rough about it too. I mean, there's no big deal if it gets to 3/8 at some section. Oh God, what would happen? Nothing. Nothing would happen. It would be fine. Can you tell I'm a recovering perfectionist? Let it go. The trouble with perfectionism is it's easy to just never start something because of all of the things that could go wrong. it's time to do some wire magic on the sconce. I was hoping I wouldn't need the wire after all because it's not trash. It's just something I already had in my stash. However, it just needs the structure, so it will be an almost all garbage makeover. What I've done is I've created a double loop up top so it can just sit on the back of the sconce. And then what I'm in the process of doing is creating an interlocking sort of loop that goes around the front like a little halo. And then this is what I will be attaching the petals to. So they have support and they're able to stand up. I'm just going to do this enough times so that it feels really sturdy, and I'll check back in when that's done. The wireframe for the sconce shade is complete. It took about 3 to 4 layers of wire wrapped around for me to feel like it was really sturdy and it wasn't going to go anywhere. Now I'm going to wrap it all up in masking tape so that the hot glue has something to hold on to and so that it can last for a really long time. All right, the sconce is almost complete. I did some hot gluing onto tissue paper, and you may be unsurprised to learn that it ripped in a couple places. Confession time. In the past, this would have sent me into a tizzy, and I would have thrown the whole thing in the trash and been like, I can't do this. We're working on that mindset. So what I'm going to do is just use a school glue stick, like one of those ones that's purple and then dries clear, and then just rip up some scrap tissue paper and then just glue that bad boy right on the top. And yeah, we're going to carry on because life is not about being perfect. And neither is making trash sconces. I've got some scrap. And then I'm just going to glue till she's purple. Ugh. And then before it dries, just pop it right on there. And then for good measure, carefully, I will glue again. And then we're going to inspect for any other areas that need patching. Don't see any at the moment. And there we have it. My creations! They look great. I am not only excited about the technical aspect, like the flowers and the bugs look so cool, and the sconce, even though I think we'll get into it, I think there's some things I could take away for the future. I'm still super thrilled with it. So not only am I excited about the output, the fact that I made it all from trash, with the exception of some wire and some tape, the fact that a lot of that trash was from my kids, the sconce was made from tissue paper that I got with baby gifts. And the fact that it's in my daughter's room so they can look and see and just remember that their mom loves them and finds them worthy of time and attention, I think is just so wonderful. And I'm getting a little emotional even thinking about it. I get really sentimental and sappy about crafts for my kids. But yes, overall, extremely happy. I used tape to hold up the garland, and all the bugs and things are hot glued on. So things may fall over time. Nothing that it could fall on could be dangerous to my kids, so it would be no worries. I may end up putting a screw in the wall or some command hooks and looping the garland onto that if it seems structurally unsound. But I just used some tape and some extra strong double-sided tape that I have for like putting rugs down on hardwood. So yeah, really no notes on the garland. I think it's wonderful. There's some of the bugs that I like more than others design-wise, but I think that's going to happen whenever you make a bunch of something, so I don't really think that's a critique on my abilities or anything. I want to shout out, not that anybody is in any doubt, but Posca paint markers. So good. The coverage that I got on these cardboard boxes is like so opaque, and the markers are so juicy. Like, I love to see it. Ye Old Sconce over there is wonderful. I think it's super, dare I say, genius to have it just sit on top and the weight is supported. It's not touching the light bulb, so it's not a fire hazard or anything like that. It doesn't get hot over there. And I can still reach underneath to turn it on and off. So it's super functional, super great. The only thing I would do different in the future is to make the base wider so that the petals had a little more room to petal, to bloom. Right now they're just a teeny bit squoonched together. Scrunched, squoonched. They're a little bit squoonched together, and especially from the side, I think you can tell it's looking a little wonky. I think it's giving more weird orchid than normal tulip, but I'm also not mad at that energy. Altogether, this has been a super fun project. I spent $0. I spent a lot of time, life to this the last couple weeks, and I was not able to get this out on time. If you're still here, thank you so much for sticking around. These videos have been so fun, and it's such a great way to inspire myself and keep myself going creatively when life gets busy. So if you're able to like and subscribe, that's super helpful for my channel, and I'll see you next time. I try to upload every 2 weeks. All right, bye.